folks, Mundane Man here again, and I'm out in the lovely smoky part of Central Alberta. Not sure if you can tell in the camera here, but we are at a 10 plus smoke or air quality level, I guess. Pet peeve of mine, if we keep hitting 10 plus on the scale, I think the scale is flawed. Maybe it needs to increase to a scale at a 20 or something like that. I think it's just they want to over-sensationalize how bad it really is compared to what we see here. Now it is smoky, I'll give you that, but nowhere near smoky as anybody who's living near forest fires in British Columbia. Climate change. Is it man-made, or is it just the normal evolution of the Earth? And with the evolution of the Earth, we as humans who happen to be on this planet just are part of the collateral damage of the normal change of the environment. On one end of the spectrum, science has you believe that all climate change is caused by man-made activities. But then there's also studies on the other end of the spectrum that say there is no such thing as climate change and it's all just a hoax. And I have no doubt that there is changes in climate and just the fact that humans are on this earth and we are impacting it just by virtue of being here. The same as everything else on this planet is impacting the climate just by being here. The problem I have with that is, where's the middle ground? We always have these fatalists saying, oh, the planet is coming to an end, it's burning up, we're all going to die. And then you have the other end of the spectrum that says, you guys are full of crap, there's nothing wrong with the planet, it's just momentary changes in weather patterns and stuff. And so I wonder where the middle ground is on that science. And when it really comes down to it, it's there's one common denominator, and that's money. You can pay scientists to do a study with an already set out agenda. I want you to show me that there are man-made causes for climate change. Just based on the financial aspect of it, the scientists will go out and find data that shows that all climate change is man-made, and that's the only area they focus on. On the other end of the spectrum, you will have finance studies that say there is no such thing as climate change or changes in the weather patterns. It's all just a normal cycle that we're in. Really, when it comes down to it, who's funding these studies, and is the outcome of these studies already predetermined? Green movement even, that too comes down to money. You look at organizations, businesses, all want to say, oh, well, we are a green company. We're doing things like recycling, or we are putting in solar panels. We are improving our building infrastructure to run more efficiently. Well, you know why they're doing that? Money. Bottom line is, it saves them money. It saves them money on their heating and cooling costs. It saves them money on their water consumption by putting in low flush toilets or whatever. Yet they hail themselves as these great environmental heroes for doing so. Whereas as building construction evolves, new equipment ends up being more efficient just by improved design over time. To hear these companies saying, look how green we are, I think it's just a political and marketing ploy to say that we are such a great steward of the environment. Even on myself, I look at my house, it faces south, the pitch of the roof faces south. Be a perfect candidate for putting in solar panels to provide the electricity needed to run our house and even put some back on the grid. But the bottom line is money. Panels, those batteries, the inverter, all that costs money, and the payback is like 15 or 20 years. So why would I invest in that kind of thing? Until these things become cheaper to use, there's no way people are going to invest in green technology when the standard ways of heating your house or turning on a light are still the cheapest alternative. There's got to be more incentive to do so. And again, on the money side of it, you have the NDP government in Alberta putting in a carbon tax. Well, that carbon tax to me is just a hidden sales tax, really. Everything you buy or every utility or resource you consume, you're paying a carbon tax. And it's just, to me, a money grab. They needed a way to generate more revenue, and to meet their socialist mandate, they needed to do something that showed that they are environmentally conscious, and this carbon tax was a way to do it, when really, to me, it's just a sales tax. I'm not a big fan of government. I'm not a big fan of big government. And having to pay more money in taxes is really not my idea of a good thing. Now, there's a bear in the area. I thought it was the roar of a bear or something. So something comes up behind me and my camera drops. You know exactly what happened. Where was I? And look at me as well. I mean, I want to be a good steward of the environment. I want to recycle. I want to reduce my consumption. But, you know, I drive around in my big truck just to fly a drone or take pictures or whatever. So that's not the most efficient method of using resources too. However, I don't think I'm the only impactor to the environment. To have the local NDP government or the federal Liberals penalize a country who's probably got one of the higher standards for being green or environmentally friendly, when you compare us to places like India and China, these developing countries that are creating so much more pollution than we are, how is our little bit of savings going to improve the world's climate? I think it needs to be a worldwide initiative, but on the other side of it, I still think that some of the changes in weather, the more severe weather, is also just a cycle of the planet, and things change over time. Humans just happen to be part of the collateral damage and their property. Bottom line is, I don't think we're hearing the whole story. I think we're hearing the story that whatever side of the equation wants to tell us. Whether you want to believe on one end of the spectrum that there's absolutely no climate change, or you want to believe on the other side of the spectrum that the world is going to end, we're all going to die, and the earth is going to turn into a fiery ball, you can believe that too. But I want to see straight down the middle, what is the truth around it? And we won't have the truth, I think, until the money is out of the equation. So like they always say when they're trying to solve a crime, follow the money. That's my bit of a rant for today. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.